Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Wayne bringing you yet another YouTube video at this time. So basically what I'm going to be discussing with you guys today, we have new zombie support coming out in Code of the Duelist. You guys don't know how excited I am for this new batch of support. Because I thought we was basically done with zombies after seeing Zombina and seeing that trash. So basically we got a new archetype called Vendread. Now this is obviously a group of zombies. Of course, they actually revolve around ritual summoning, which that was an idea I actually threw around in my ideas for Shiranui support part 4 video when I told you guys about my new ritual monster that I came out with. So it's kind of surprising, but at the same time I know Konami does watch people's videos for inspiration for doing their cards and stuff. So I'm surprised, but then again, I'm not surprised at the same time. So with that said, let's get into the support and not waste any time. So I have them right here. So let's discuss the first Vendread monster. It's Vendread Hound Horde. Now it's a dark zombie, level 3 with 0 attack and 2100 defense. Its effect reads: if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard one Vendread card, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. A Vendread monster ritual summoned using this card on the field gains the following effects. You can only use the effects of Vendread Horde Hound once per turn. So it's a once per turn quick effect. You can target one spell and trap card your opponent controls and banish it. So let's go over that real quick. So that's definitely an interesting, sort of mechanic to go with, adding effects to the ritual monster, sort of like what they did with the the djinns. We all know how that ended up with the freaking the djinn that stopped special summoning ended up being banned because that ended up being too broken. It was used in Necros and all that other stuff. So I'm sure they were very careful when they did this. So they didn't want to make a mistake like that again. So yeah, so basically it gives the ritual monster the ability to banish one spell and trap card your opponent controls, which is pretty good. Sort of like a tornado dragon, except it banishes it once per turn, which is really good. So that prevents effects that spell and trap effects that activate in the graveyard from activating in the graveyard, because it goes straight to banish, which is pretty good. So it's like a cosmic cyclone on legs. Basically, it makes it that, so which is pretty good. I like that. That's very good. So it's either player's turn, so you have to be careful what you're doing. So you have to sort of bait out the effect, and you usually do something like this during the end phase anyway. So if they had set something that turn, you could just banish it during the end phase, and they won't be able to activate the effect. So it's pretty good. I like it. So next we're talking about Samurai Skull. Now this is a dark zombie, but this is not a Vendread, but this is definitely some zombie support. So this is a zombie with 1700 attack, 0 defense. They should have just made it a freaking Shiranui. It has stats of a Shiranui monster. Why not make it a Shiranui? But I digress on that. When this card is normal summon, you can send one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. So basically what they gave us was yet another Foolish Burial on legs. So we have a total of 3 monsters that Foolish Burial on legs, basically as Unizombie, Gozuki, and now this of Samurai Skull. Alright, if this face-up card your opponent controls leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower zombie type monster from your deck, except himself, of course. So unfortunately, they made it once again depending on your opponent's effects to go off, just like they did with Zombina. Once again, that's terrible. At least if you're gonna do that, at least add the battle part too. You might as well, since you did it to Zombina, you might as well do it with this too. But once again, I'm digressing because that effect kind of yeah. Alright, moving right along to the ritual monster. Now this is Vendread Slayer. This is a dark zombie ritual Level 6, 2400 attack, 0 defense. You can ritual summon this card with any Vendread ritual spell card, which obviously means we're getting more than one Vendread ritual spell card. So this will probably be another Necros type of situation where we get multiple spell cards. Once per battle, if this card battles an opponent's monster during the damage calculation, which is a quick effect, either player's turn of course, you can banish one zombie monster from your graveyard, and this card gains 300 attack. So this effect would have honestly been better if it was just a once per turn banishing of a zombie from the graveyard, and this card gains 300 attack during either player's turn. So I didn't really understand the once per battle part, but I guess it kind of works because you can obviously run this in tandem with Shiranui's. You can run this with, if you have a Smith in the graveyard, you can attack into attack or be attacked, of course, because it's either player's turn, of course. Save your monster from battle. You can run it with obviously Spirit Master to pop a card during the battle and gain, reduce the monsters on your opponent's field so you can have more having a monster to attack into, Sage, so on and so forth. You guys already know how it works. So I think the effect is good, but it's just the once per battle part that gets me. I don't know where they came up with that from. I think it's pretty silly because it just made it a once per turn effect. So anyway, let's move on to the other part of the effect. If this ritual summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one ritual spell card from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send one Vendread monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Vendread Slayer once per turn. So obviously this card has to be ritual summoned in order for you to get the search for the spell card, but you running stuff like, if you're running pure Vendread deck, you're obviously going to run the ritual cards like Lanju and Senju and stuff like that to search your ritual spell cards. So you don't have to actually wait to ritual summon it in order to get you another search. So overall, I think the card is okay. I definitely think the card could have been better, but it does help with the Shiranui banishing. But once again, we have enough ways to banish. We need more ways to recur our resources. I've been saying this forever, and apparently even if Konami does watch my videos, it's not listening. So it is what it is on that end. So let's move on to the next one. Vendread Revenants. It's another dark zombie effect with 1800 attack, 200 defense. This card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card by battle or card effect. Yes. And sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, that's fine. A Vendread monster ritual summoned using this card on the field gains the following effect. This card has to be on the field? That so sucks too. You can only use the preceding effect of Vendread events once per turn. Once per turn, quick effect during either player's turn. You can target one special summoned monster your opponent controls and banish it. So why does this card have to be on the field? I don't understand that. What's wrong with just using it from the hand or from the graveyard? It could be from anywhere else. Why on the field? So you'd have to waste a normal summon if you're going to try to do this. So I don't get that. But the effect it gives is, I guess it's supposed to balance out. It's supposed to be on the field or something like that. But the fact that it targets a special summon monster, I guess targeting is not that bad nowadays because Cosmo aren't a thing anymore. So for the most part, Cosmo aren't a thing. But obviously, if you're playing against a Cosmo matchup, this effect's not going to do much. So you guys already know how that works. So Overall, just being able to special summon itself is pretty good, so it can just, add to your presence just in case. For defensive purposes, of course, you lose the monster, it comes back, and then, your opponent attacks it again for it to be banished. So, it's okay. Could have been better once again. Alright, so let us proceed on to the ritual spell card, Vendread Origin. This card can be used to ritual summon any Vendread ritual monster from your hand or graveyard. You must also tribute monsters from your hand, field, or banish zombie monsters from your graveyard whose levels equal to or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. If a Vendread Slayers you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So, with all of that being said, I believe in the case of this card, I believe they did watch my Shiranui Ideas Part 4, because this is very similar to the ritual spell card that I came up with for it. So instead of putting it all into, because I remember, guys, I had two separate effects for the ritual spell card. One tributes monsters from the hand, field, or sends zombies from the deck to the graveyard. Then the second part of the effect, banish this card along with zombie monsters to ritual summon. So what they did was, in essence, took both of the effects and put them all on one part of the effect of the card. So I believe it definitely correlates with my ritual spell card in that way, which I think is pretty good. Pretty good. I can appreciate that. So yeah, so what else? It protects your Vendread. It only protects the Slayers from battle or card effect, which sucks. It should have been for any Vendread monster if they're going to go through all that. So once again, they always scale back the power of zombies. I don't know why they do that. It seems like Konami is so scared of making zombies good. I never really understood that. But you can make Zodiacs and True Dracos the way they are. So I just don't understand it for the life of me, and I'm sure you guys don't understand it either. So, yeah, the ritual spell card is actually pretty good. I wish I had some sort of recyclability to go with it, but since we're probably getting more ritual spell cards, so I guess it would be okay. The Necros ritual spell cards recycle themselves when you have no monsters, you can banish it and the Necros monster to add another, ritual spell card from your deck to your hand. So I guess it's, scale back, trying to learn a lesson from the Necros situation, I guess. So, alright, so last card to go over is Vendread Reorigin. This is a normal trap card. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls that has level tributed, and if you do, special summon one Vendread token, Zombie Dark, attack 0/0 with a level equal to the tributed monster's original level. While a token is special summoned by this effect is on the field, you can have normal or special summon monsters except Vendread monsters. So this is the big secret rare card in the Vendread archetype. So that this is going to come out secret. So it gets to tribute a monster, which is pretty good on your opponent's side of the field that has levels. So basically, it doesn't touch links and it doesn't touch XZs because they don't have levels. Everything else is pretty much fair game. And it gives you a token of that level. So it basically good for tribute fodder, of course. And basically that's it really. It's not really anything too much else. It's a pretty simple card, but it's very powerful in that it tributes the monster to gain a level from. Gain a monster that you use for ritual summon, and it gains levels equal to the level equal to the monster tributed, so that you can use it for a tribute for the ritual summoning of the Slayers and stuff. So I'm assuming they're going to have varied levels. So the first ritual monster was a level 6. I'm assuming we're going to have maybe higher levels or maybe even lower levels. Who knows? Because basically that's all we know about the Vendreads for now. But so far, my overall thoughts on the Vendreads in general, it's shaping out to be interesting. Ritual summon decks are always been interesting decks, but you know, it's always been that thing where ritual decks are inherent minuses, of course, because you're always giving up resources in order to do something. But in this case, you know, you have backup because you can play this with Shiranui, so you have a sort of a backup, you know, scenario just in case your ritual summons don't go through or whatever the case may be. You have the Shiranui to sort of back you up and, you know, provide an extra thingy for, because you know D barrier is still around, so you know you can stop one summoning, but you have the other summoning to sort of back you up just in case. So overall, I think it's interesting, and I'm hoping to see more support for this just to see, you know, how it truly shapes out to be. Alright, so those are my thoughts as a whole, so I will be leaving that at that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I want all of my zombie viewers in my comment section so we can discuss this. Alright guys, so I will leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime, but until then, peace, YouTube.